Remember when spacecraft interiors looked like a maze of buttons and switches crammed into claustrophobic capsules? Those days are over. The 21st century has ushered in a new era of space travel, and at its forefront stands SpaceX's revolutionary Crew Dragon capsule. It's not just about getting to space anymore, it's about how you get there, says former NASA astronaut Bob Behnken, who was among the first to experience Crew Dragon's groundbreaking design. While Russian Soyuz capsules squeezed astronauts into cramped three-seat configurations, Crew Dragon transformed the experience with spaciousness, comfort, and cutting-edge technology that's changing what we expect from space travel. The results speak volumes. 15 successful missions, 56 passengers safely transported, and a growing list of astronauts who've come to prefer this vessel over all competitors. In fact, some astronauts now refuse to fly on alternative spacecraft after experiencing Dragon's superior design. Today, we're taking you behind the scenes for an exclusive look at what makes Crew Dragon the gold standard for human spaceflight. From its sleek touchscreen controls to its ingenious safety systems that have made it the most reliable spacecraft in operation. Let's dive right in. Spacious luxury, the interior revolution. When Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley first floated inside Crew Dragon in May 2020, they experienced something astronauts had been denied for years: room to move. After the retirement of the space shuttle, American astronauts had been relegated to hitching rides on Russia's Soyuz capsules, notorious for their sardine can dimensions. Going from Soyuz to Dragon is like trading a compact car for a luxury SUV, explains Andreas Mogensen, the first European Space Agency astronaut to pilot a U.S. commercial crew spacecraft. The difference is immediate and striking. Crew Dragon wasn't just designed with basic functionality in mind. It was built to transform the very experience of space travel. The white minimalist interior creates an atmosphere of calm amid the chaos of rocket propulsion. 4 expansive windows offer breathtaking views of Earth, the Moon, and the vast solar system beyond. Passengers can gaze outward from seats crafted from the highest-grade carbon fiber and Alcantara cloth, the same material used in luxury supercars. What truly sets Dragon apart is its climate control system. Unlike earlier spacecraft where astronauts were at the mercy of whatever temperature the vehicle maintained, Crew Dragon passengers can adjust the cabin climate between 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. A small touch that makes a profound difference during the stressful journey to orbit. And then there's the toilet. Yes, even bathroom facilities reveal SpaceX's thoughtful engineering. The Crew Dragon waste removal system is discreetly mounted on the ceiling, providing privacy in the communal space. Though as former NASA astronaut Garrett Risman admits with a laugh, "I can tell you from personal experience and data collected by NASA, it's kind of like going on a camping trip. For the first 2 to 4 hours, your body kind of shuts down a little bit as far as the digestive system goes. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of pooping on Dragon." The interior's flexibility extends to its mission profile as well. Near the toilet location is the International Docking System Standard, Port IDSS for ISS missions. However, for private flights like the groundbreaking Polaris Dawn mission that don't require docking with the space station, SpaceX replaces this port with something extraordinary: a 1.2-meter dome of plexiglass, creating a panoramic window similar to the ISS cupola. Imagine floating in zero gravity, gazing through this crystal-clear bubble at the blue marble of Earth below. This is no longer science fiction. It's the reality SpaceX has created. Touchscreen revolution, controls for a new era. Above the commander and pilot seats, Crew Dragon represents a complete departure from aerospace tradition. Gone are the overwhelming instrument panels packed with hundreds of mechanical switches, dials, and analog gauges that define spacecraft from Mercury to Apollo. In their place, 3 sleek touchscreens. This radical simplification shocked aerospace veterans when first revealed. How could touchscreens possibly be reliable enough for the unforgiving environment of space? The skepticism was palpable, but SpaceX had confidence in their vision of the future. The interfaces we're used to in modern smartphones and tablets are actually more intuitive and capable than the complex mechanical systems of the past, explains a SpaceX engineer who worked on the system. We've designed these screens with multiple layers of redundancy and resilience to radiation and other space hazards. Each screen can display up to 10 different sets of data simultaneously, allowing crew members to focus on specific systems or get a comprehensive overview. According to SpaceX, Crew Dragon's displays provide real-time information on the state of the spacecraft's capabilities, anything from Dragon's position in space to possible destinations to the environment on board. Doug Hurley, the commander of SpaceX's first crewed mission, describes the interface. You have an overall systems page on the screen, and then you can drill down into individual pages as well. There's a total of 25 to 30 individual pages, and SpaceX may have added some more since my flight. The touchscreen control system represents more than just aesthetic modernization. It's a fundamental shift in spacecraft philosophy. Traditional control panels were fixed and unchangeable once launched. If a need arose for a new display or control that hadn't been anticipated, astronauts were out of luck. With the Dragon's software-defined interface, SpaceX can update the control systems remotely, adding new capabilities or refining existing ones based on real mission data and astronaut feedback. This adaptability gives Dragon a crucial edge over competitors like Boeing Starliner, which relies more heavily on traditional controls. Safety by design, multiple layers of protection. The beauty of Crew Dragon isn't just skin deep. Beneath its elegant exterior lies an obsessive focus on astronaut safety that permeates every aspect of the vehicle's design. Crew Dragon is an autonomous vehicle capable of completing entire missions with zero human input. This autonomy forms the first layer of safety. The spacecraft can navigate, dock, undock, and return to Earth entirely on its own, eliminating the risk of human error during critical maneuvers. But SpaceX understands that true safety comes from redundancy. If the autonomous systems encounter a problem, SpaceX ground controllers become the second line of defense, able to troubleshoot and issue commands from mission control. Only if both these layers fail would the astronauts need to take manual control. The most visible safety innovation is Dragon's emergency escape system. Unlike traditional spacecraft that use disposable escape towers mounted above the capsule, Crew Dragon integrates 8 Super Draco engines directly into the sides of the vehicle. These powerful thrusters can fire in milliseconds to pull the capsule away from a failing rocket at any point during launch. The Super Draco escape system is a game changer, notes a former NASA safety engineer. Traditional escape towers were only effective during the initial phases of launch. Dragon's integrated system provides abort capability all the way to orbit. This was dramatically demonstrated in January 2020 during an in-flight abort test, when Dragon successfully escaped from a Falcon 9 rocket, deliberately shut down at the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure, the most challenging moment for an escape maneuver. Another crucial safety advance is Dragon's approach to critical systems. Conventional spacecraft store life support, thrusters, and propellant in a separate service module that's discarded before re-entry. Dragon integrates these essential components into the capsule itself, ensuring they're protected by the heat shield during the fiery return to Earth. This integration also enables reuse, a core SpaceX philosophy that enhances reliability through iterative improvement. For orbital maneuvering, Dragon relies on 16 smaller Draco thrusters arranged around the spacecraft to control its attitude and perform precise movements in space. These thrusters, like all critical systems on Dragon, are arranged in redundant pairs. If one fails, its partner can complete the mission. The trunk section, which connects the capsule to the Falcon 9 rocket, serves multiple functions beyond mere structural support. It houses solar panels for power generation, a heat dissipation radiator, and fins that provide aerodynamic stability during emergency aborts. Unlike earlier Dragon spacecraft that used deployable solar panels, Crew Dragon integrates its solar arrays directly into the trunk structure, eliminating potential mechanical failures during deployment. The shield that brings you home. Perhaps the most critical safety element of any spacecraft is its thermal protection system, the only thing standing between astronauts and temperatures that can reach over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit during re-entry. Dragon's exterior is coated with a specialized white material called Z93-C55, a two-part system comprising a pigment and a binder solution. This isn't just paint, It's a carefully engineered thermal control coating with additives that boost electrical conductivity while preserving the ability to reflect solar radiation, keeping the spacecraft cool in the harsh environment of space. But the real magic happens during the fiery descent back to Earth. This is where Dragon's PICA-X heat shield proves its worth. Developed by SpaceX based on NASA's original phenolic-impregnated carbon ablator PICA material, PICA-X is a lightweight substance designed to withstand extreme temperatures through a process called ablation. As Dragon plunges through the atmosphere, the outer layers of the heat shield deliberately burn away, carrying heat with them and protecting the capsule's interior. The brilliance of this system is that just a few inches of PICA-X can keep the interior at room temperature, while the exterior faces inferno-like conditions. A few inches of PICA-X protects against temperatures of up to 1,850 degrees Celsius, keeping the interior of the capsule at room temperature, explains SpaceX. This upgraded design showed superior performance during testing at NASA's Ames Research Center, where a sample was subjected to the projected temperatures of atmospheric re-entry. The backshell, the curved upper portion of the capsule, uses another SpaceX innovation called SPAM, SpaceX Proprietary Ablative Material. Like PICA-X, SPAM works by partially burning away during re-entry, explaining why returned Dragon capsules look like marshmallows toasted to perfection, as Jared Isaacman, commander of the Polaris Dawn mission, described them. After the capsule has slowed sufficiently through atmospheric friction, Dragon deploys its parachute system, 2 drogue chutes followed by 4 main parachutes, an upgrade from the 5 parachutes used by earlier Dragon variants. These massive canopies gently lower the spacecraft to a splash, landing in the ocean, where recovery crews await. The entire re-entry sequence demonstrates SpaceX's philosophy of safety through simplicity. By eliminating complexities like the space shuttle's gliding return and runway landing, Dragon reduces potential points of failure while maintaining a comfortable return experience. What I noticed in particular was the smoothness of the landing compared to my first flight, remarked Andreas Mogensen after his Dragon mission. The Dragon lands in the water, and I think that makes a big difference. The growing Dragon family, from Endurance to C-213, SpaceX has built a fleet of Crew Dragon spacecraft, each with its own name and history. Currently, 4 Dragons, Endeavour, Resilience, Endurance, and Freedom, rotate through missions for NASA in private spaceflight. On January 1, 2025, SpaceX revealed the 5th and final Crew Dragon under development, C-213. This announcement stirred excitement in the spaceflight community, which had grown accustomed to the existing 4-ship fleet. While initially planned to make its maiden flight on the Crew 10 mission to the ISS in late March 2025, NASA determined that C-213 wouldn't be ready until late April. This scheduling challenge led to a reshuffling of the Dragon roster. Crew Dragon Endurance was reassigned to Crew 10, moving the launch date up to March 12, 2025. This earlier date was crucial because it allowed Crew 9 astronauts, including Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams, to return home by March 19th. Wilmore and Williams represent a remarkable story of Dragon's reliability. They flew to the ISS aboard Boeing Starliner in June 2024, but technical glitches with Starliner forced them to remain in space when the vehicle returned to Earth uncrewed on September 6th. The duo has been waiting on the station for Crew 9's rescue mission to bring them home, a demonstration of the industry's trust in Dragon when other systems fall short. With Endurance reassigned, C-213 will now make its debut on the private Axiom 4 mission. Axiom missions represent a new chapter in space exploration. Private citizens and researchers traveling to the ISS, not for government programs but for commercial and scientific endeavors. Private missions, opening space to everyone beyond its NASA service, Dragon has pioneered a new era of private spaceflight. The Axiom missions, operated by space company Axiom Space using SpaceX Crew Dragons, have carried researchers, innovators, and private astronauts to the ISS, conducting scientific experiments and outreach activities that extend beyond traditional government space programs. The most dramatic example of Dragon's versatility was the Inspiration 4 mission in September 2021, the first all-civilian orbital spaceflight in history. For 3 days, 4 private citizens circled Earth in Crew Dragon Resilience, raising over $200 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and proving that space was no longer the exclusive domain of professional astronauts. Building on this success, the Polaris program pushed boundaries even further. The Polaris Dawn mission, which launched on September 10, 2024, etched its name in the annals of space exploration with a series of historic firsts. The mission featured the first commercial spacewalk, with crew members testing SpaceX's new EVA, extravehicular activity suit, a crucial technology for future Starship missions to the Moon and Mars. Polaris Dawn also ventured farther from Earth than any human since the Apollo era, reaching altitudes not seen by human eyes since 1972. On September 15, 2024, Resilience returned safely to Earth, splashing down in the Gulf of Mexico. Just 3 days later, the capsule, bearing the marks of its fiery descent, was back at Cape Canaveral aboard the recovery vessel Shannon. What's remarkable about this quick turnaround is that despite the extreme conditions it endured, including the highest re-entry heating of any Dragon mission to date, Resilience required minimal refurbishment before its next flight. As Jared Isaacman noted, that was our Spaceship Crew Dragon Resilience. It looks like she could use a bit of a touch-up before the next go. We have so much appreciation for the mission control and recovery team that brought us back safely. This reusability is a key aspect of SpaceX's approach to spacecraft design. By carefully inspecting and refurbishing Dragons between flights, including stripping and reapplying the ablative backshell material, SpaceX ensures reliability while reducing costs, making space more accessible to a broader range of missions and passengers. Dragon versus the competition. Why astronauts choose SpaceX? Dragon's dominance in the U.S. crew spaceflight market since 2020 isn't just about being first. It's about being best. With 15 successful missions and 56 passengers safely transported from various countries, Dragon has established itself as the gold standard for human spaceflight. The contrast with competitors is striking. Boeing's CST-100 Starliner, once considered a potential equal to Dragon, has struggled with persistent technical issues. While capable of carrying up to 7 crew members and equipped with both manual controls and touchscreens, Starliner's troubled development has limited its usefulness. According to NASA's Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel, Boeing has made progress addressing issues identified during Starliner's crew flight test. However, the key issue with Starliner's propulsion system, the primary concern, remains unresolved, with teams still working to determine its root cause. This technical uncertainty has real human consequences. Astronauts Wilmore and Williams have been stranded on the ISS since June 2024, waiting for a Dragon to bring them home after their Starliner spacecraft was deemed unsafe for crewed return. NASA's Orion spacecraft faces its own challenges. Although the agency claims to have resolved Orion's heat shield issues, the spacecraft's future remains uncertain. Rumors that NASA's ambitious Space Launch System, SLS, may be canceled have cast doubt on Orion's role in the upcoming Artemis II mission, further cementing Dragon's position as the most reliable crew vehicle in operation. The future. From LEO to the Moon and beyond. SpaceX designed the Crew Dragon spacecraft primarily to transport astronauts to and from the International Space Station, developing it as part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program to transition space station flights to American companies. But Dragon's capabilities extend far beyond this initial mission. The spacecraft is certified to carry both NASA and commercial astronauts to destinations in low Earth orbit, with variants proposed for missions reaching as far as the Moon. Dragon XL, a cargo-focused variant, has been proposed for Lunar Gateway Logistics Services, supporting NASA's Artemis program and eventual return to the lunar surface. In its standard configuration, Dragon can transport up to 6,000 kilograms of cargo to the ISS and return 3,000 kilograms to Earth, a critical capability for scientific research. The vehicle's autonomous docking capability, using GPS, cameras, and imaging sensors, makes it ideal for both crewed and uncrewed missions to various destinations. As SpaceX continues to develop its next-generation Starship vehicle for Mars missions, Dragon serves as both a reliable workhorse and a technological proving ground. Innovations tested on Dragon, from heat shield materials to life support systems, will inform the design of future vehicles carrying humans deeper into the solar system. The story of Crew Dragon represents more than just technical achievement. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach space exploration. By combining cutting-edge technology with thoughtful design focused on the human experience, SpaceX has transformed spaceflight from an ordeal to be endured into a journey to be enjoyed. As more astronauts experience Dragon's capabilities firsthand, the verdict becomes increasingly clear. This is what a 21st century spacecraft should be. The space travelers of tomorrow won't just be going to new places. They'll be going there in comfort, safety, and style, thanks to the innovations pioneered by this remarkable vehicle. In a blazing trail of innovation, Dragon has forever altered the landscape of space exploration. While other spacecraft come and go, Dragon's legacy of reusability, reliability, and revolutionary design will continue to shape humanity's journey to the stars for generations to come. As we've seen, the Crew Dragon isn't just another spacecraft, it's a revolution in how we venture beyond our atmosphere. From its spacious, thoughtfully designed interior to its cutting-edge touchscreen controls, from its multi-layered safety systems to its battle-tested heat shield, Dragon has set a new standard that competitors are struggling to match. Perhaps the most telling testament to Dragon's excellence comes from the astronauts themselves. When given a choice, they choose Dragon. When stranded in orbit, they wait for Dragon. When pushing the boundaries of human capability in space, they trust Dragon. In the grand story of space exploration, Crew Dragon represents more than technological achievement. It symbolizes the moment when spaceflight began to focus not just on surviving the journey, but on experiencing it. What are your thoughts on the Crew Dragon's innovations? Have you been following the recent missions? Drop a comment below with your favorite feature of SpaceX's revolutionary spacecraft. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the spacecraft transforming human access to space, hit that like button to help more space enthusiasts discover this content. And don't forget to subscribe to Elon Musk 24 Hours for more exclusive coverage of SpaceX, Tesla, and all the ventures pushing humanity toward an exciting multiplanetary future. Until next time, keep looking up.